Hey guys, welcome to Ignite Core Solutions. This is Nafay, your data analytics and backend specialist. This video is going to be about getting started with data analytics using Python. We will use a real-world dataset from Kaggle called Airbnb data from New York City, and we are going to explore the dataset in Google Colab. So there's no need for any setup of environments, IDEs, or anything like that. This video is just real bare minimum getting started video without any setup required. So let's jump right into that.
Let's upload our dataset into Google Colab so we can start working with it. So in Colab, we can use a built-in function to manually upload files from our local machine. And to do that, we will type from google.colab import files. Uploaded files, and there we go. Files are uploaded. Shift enter. Okay, so this code that I wrote lets us choose a file from our computer and upload it directly into the Colab environment. We'll use this to bring in the Airbnb dataset. So I'll click choose files and click on my dataset, click open, and there we go. Our dataset is being uploaded over here. As you can see, it's 15%, that's 20, that's 30%, and it'll continue to upload. So while this is uploading, I'll just start and import my libraries and import pandas as pd, import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, import Seaborn as SNS, and then we will use Pandas to read our dataset. And over here, as we can see, the dataset has been uploaded, and there we go. We will run the libraries and the CSV. We'll press Shift Enter, and our dataset has been uploaded, and we are ready to analyze it. Okay, so the next step is to view the data that we uploaded. So for that, we'll type df.head and click Shift Enter. And so you can see that this shows us the first 5 rows of the data set. All of our columns have been uploaded over here. So this is the quick way to preview the data structure, column names, types of values, and the sample records. The next step is to overview the data set in terms of data types. So we'll type df.info and Shift Enter, and there we go. So the info function gives us a summary of the dataset, including the number of rows over here and the columns over here, the data types over here, and how many non-null values exist in each column over here. So as we can see, there are some null values, and to confirm that, we will type df.isNull.sum and Shift Enter. So we can see that there are a few null values, and the eye-catching thing is that there are two columns with similar amount of null values, but these are significant values. I mean, this is close to 30-40% of the data set, and these two these two columns might hinder our analysis, and so we will just drop these columns, and for that we will type df is equals to df dot drop, and we will type our column names that we want to drop. Those are, we're just gonna copy the names from here, Control C, Control V, and comma, and in the other column, Control C, Control V, and then we're going to specify axis 1 and shift enter. There we go. And to verify the drop of the columns, we are going to type df dot head to again view our dataset and see if the last reviews and the reviews per month column have been dropped or not. Okay, there we go. So as you guys can see, the last review and reviews per month column have been dropped, and our dataset is now a clean dataset that we can work on and analyze it. Okay, so let's just move on with analyzing the neighborhood group column. Let's just see how many neighborhood groups are present there and what is the count for each of the neighborhood group. So we'll type df and then we'll specify our column that is neighborhood group. We're just going to copy it from here. Control V, and then we're going to use a function called value counts, and we're going to press shift enter, and this returns us a table with the count of the neighborhood groups in the neighborhood group column. So we can see that Manhattan has 21,661 Airbnb listings. In Brooklyn, there are 20,104 listings. In Queens, there are 5,666 listings. In Bronx, there are 1,091. And in Staten Island, there are 307. Okay, guys, so now let's go ahead and just plot this count. So what we can do is just assign a variable. We're gonna name it group, and we're gonna just do this. There we go. Now to actually create the plot, what we're gonna do is we're gonna type group dot plot. So plot is a function, and then we assign the kind of plot we want. So what we want is a bar plot, and with columns we are going to type bar, and there we go. So we're going to press shift enter, and there we go, guys. We have a clean data visualization over here. We just plotted this data table, the neighborhood group. And so what you guys can do is, if you are creating a presentation for the management, you can just right click on this dataset and copy this image and just paste it into the PowerPoint presentation. As simple as that. Okay guys, so let's move on and analyze this column right here, the neighborhood. I want to see what the difference is in neighborhood group and neighborhood. So we're going to do the same function in for the neighborhood column as well. We're going to just copy this from over here and Control V, and we're just gonna change the column name. Let's just verify it's neighborhood over here and neighborhood over there as well, and this will give us the count of the neighborhood column. Okay guys, there we go. So just from looking at this table, I can see that there are a total of 221 neighborhoods in the neighborhood column. So we can understand, so what we understand from this is that the neighborhood column is a smaller area than the neighborhood group. Okay, so let's just see the top 20 neighborhoods with the most Airbnb listings, and for that what we're going to do is assign a variable, nb is equals to, we're just gonna copy this from here. Okay, sorry, we already have a variable assigned. What we're gonna do is group dot head and 20. There we go guys. Since there are too many neighborhoods to visualize clearly, we only take the top 20. This gives us a cleaner and more meaningful bar chart for the most popular areas for listings. And we're just gonna plot this by assigning this a variable. Let's just call it g is equals to this, and then we're gonna g dot plot, and we're just gonna press tab and it will automatically come here, and shift enter, and there we have it. Our plot for the neighborhood column is ready. Okay, now let's move on to analyze the prices in this dataset. So there we go, this is the price column. We're going to use this same function, values count. We're going to copy it from above and just paste it over here, and just change the column name to whatever we are analyzing. For this case it's price, but we don't need values count because this is a non-numerical column. What we need is a mean or an average value of the prices. So we're going to use a built-in function called mean, which will return us an average price from the entire data set. Okay, so the average of the entire data set prices is $152. This actually gives us a general idea of what people are charging per night, but this can be a bit misleading. So let's just use group by this price function with the neighborhood group to see what are the rates in specific neighborhoods like. So for that, we're gonna type group price is equals to df dot group by. Okay, there we go. And this will return us. Okay, this is giving us an error because I typed a dash instead of is equals to, and there we go. Shift enter again. There you go, guys. So we can see the average price per neighborhood in this table. So the average price per Airbnb night is in Bronx it's $87, in Brooklyn it's 124, in Manhattan it is 196, in Queens it is 99, and on Staten Island it is 114. So we'll just plot this one as well by group price dot plot kind bar, shift enter, and there we go. We have the neighborhood group by price visualized as well. Let's move on to analyze the room types that are available in this dataset. So we'll type df and then we'll specify the column that is room type. There we go. Okay guys, so we can see that most of the listings in this dataset are for entire home or apartments and private rooms, and compared to the entire home and private room, the ratio for the shared rooms is quite small, and we probably can understand why we wouldn't want a shared room with a stranger, right? So now we're gonna go ahead and just visualize this table. So we're just gonna assign a variable over here, room type. Let's just we're gonna name it room type, and then we'll make the plot over here, room type dot plot. There we go. Okay guys, we assigned the value count to a variable, and then we used dot plot function to visualize it. So this helps us to quickly see which type of listing is the most common. Okay guys, and that's it for this beginner friendly walkthrough of Airbnb New York City data using Python and Google Colab. We did a basic analysis, cleaning the data, exploring room types, prices, and neighborhoods. But this is just scratching the surface. There's so much more we can uncover from this dataset, like host behavior, availability trends, and even price predictions. If you want to see a part 2 where we dive deeper, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.